Senator Nunn, would you be kind enough to join us? Ask a couple of questions. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know you recently had a conference in Rome and with the Italian government, and was curious as to where that was going. And I was just also curious as to your meeting with the president, how that came about.
Well, the Rome conference came about with the leadership of the foreign ministry in Italy, and they were the sponsors, but it had a real interesting co-chairs, Mikhail Gorbachev and George Shultz, both of whom had been very much key players in the Reykjavik conference when Reagan and Gorbachev came close to an agreement on eliminating nuclear weapons. And you remember those days. But it was a very good conference. We had probably 100 experts from around the globe, and we had a lot of conversation, including some of the issues that Bob has just talked about and Chuck has just talked about. And I thought the foreign minister, Jonathan, was there, and the foreign minister did an excellent job. He made it clear that Italy and its leadership of the G8 summit that's forthcoming is going to really focus on this question, not only of the vision of a world without nuclear weapons is in terms of a topic for the G8 to discuss and hopefully pass some type statement on, but also these important steps, the steps that have to be taken. And we said, and as I always say, that the vision and the steps go together. To Bob's point just a moment ago, I believe the steps that have been outlined, and we'll talk about some more tonight, getting control of nuclear materials wherever they are, stopping the production of those materials, in my view, taking weapons by both Russia and the United States off of prompt launch and giving more warning time and decision time to the leader of Russia before they have to decide to use nuclear weapons if they are given a warning, which may be a false warning, and the same thing for the United States. So all of those steps are absolutely essential. And I fervently believe that without the cooperation of other countries, we are not going to be able to take those fundamental steps which are in the interest of our own national security to protect our citizens. And I also believe we're not going to get to cooperation unless we have a vision of where we're going. The vision is enormously important. The goal's important. The Non-Proliferation Treaty is important. We signed up to it. Every president has endorsed it, but the world doesn't think we take it seriously. So this is not a new idea. The Gang of Four, I guess it were new people who said it, but this idea has been along a long time, and we've actually have treaty commitments which bind us in that direction. So without the vision, we're not going to get to cooperation. Without the cooperation, we're not going to take the steps, and without the steps, we're not going to protect America. So I believe we're in a race between cooperation and catastrophe, and I've said that a lot of times, and I believe that that the Rome conference greatly advanced that. We also had a conference in Norway earlier last year. We had a conference in London. We've had a great deal of support from statesmen from around the globe. And most of all, the most important thing has happened in this country, and I think globally because we're the leader, is that we had the two candidates, not only Senator Obama, but also Senator McCain, both agreed with this vision and generally agreed with the steps back in the campaign. And it's carried through in the White House with President Obama's leadership. Remarkable speech he made in Prague, and remarkable that he and his counterpart in Russia, President Medvedev, basically said together they were going to be working this agenda. So a lot has happened. We are at a crucial juncture. Every one of the questions Bob has talked about and Chuck has talked about today, I think, are on the front burner. We've got to deal with all of them. We've got to have answers to these questions. We've got to think about the end game. But by and large, it is a transformational period, Michael, as you asked to begin with.
Thank you, Senator Nunn. Just a question of time. I thought maybe we should open it up for any questions now or statements that anybody might have or would like to share.
We have microphones for everybody who wants to ask a question, so if you could just raise your hand, we'll bring you a mic.
Just out of respect, Representative Tauscher, if you'd like to say anything, we would be more than welcome.
Something bland, non-controversial, innocent. Hi, how are you? Nice to be here.
Hi, how are you?
Can I say how happy I am to be here?
Thank you.
Can I thank you for your leadership? Can I say that I'm still in my process of getting my confirmation done, but honored and humbled by the invitation of the President and the Secretary to become Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security. And I'm doing 2 jobs, and I'd like to only do 1. But thank you very much for your work. I think, if I could just say very briefly how important it is that you're all here, because obviously this work, many of you have been doing this work for such a long time, and we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are now with this phenomenal new president and the opportunity to get so much done. But something that Michael said just a second ago, and I think Senator Nunn said it is now time for the public discourse. It is now time for the narrative to be developed with this administration, with our friends around the world. And we need a narrative that is precise and accurate, but one that can be delivered to everyone that is interested, and even people that aren't interested, because we need a lot of political will to do the heavy lift that we have coming forward. This is an extraordinary time, and I think that with all of your help and with this leadership, and with the President's leadership and Secretary Clinton's leadership, Secretary Gates, we're going to get a lot done. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Representative Tauscher. We wish you Godspeed through your confirmation hearings and hope you get to be quickly confirmed in your new position as power forward for the State Department team. That's great. Henry Sokolsky, please.
Bob, in light of your courageous position against the Indian deal, which I really appreciated seeing you take a step away from a lot of the Washington conventional position.
You and my son have the same view. I can't find anybody else, but I appreciate that.
It's okay. Sometimes being alone doesn't mean you're wrong. When should we start meeting in Beijing and in New Delhi? I mean, we talk an awful lot about meeting in Europe because it's nice there. Mr. Obama has raised this in his Prague speech. I'm curious to get the view of the panel of how to bring these 2 others in and put a little pressure on them, too.
Thank you.
You want me to begin since I'm on the end?
Yes.
All right. Not that I'd have anything to say. But
Well, that's okay. You can keep your comments short. We'd like to just sort of move along here, seriously, to move along and get as many questions as possible.
Obviously, the Chinese have to be brought into this, and that's part of what I think what Sam was referring to in developing a vision, process, strategy. That all has to fold in together. And without the Chinese, just as we've all agreed up here, and other countries, the cooperation of all, especially the nuclear powers, we can't move. And so the Chinese do have to be brought in. They will. I am confident they will be brought in.
Any others want to add?
I mean, I think, Henry, that's you're right on the money. Is right on the mark with the observation that that's got to happen. I don't know that it has to happen. I mean, we're not, and I'm really thinking of the strategic level right now and where we are. We're not near there yet. I'd like to see some more success with the U.S.-Russian side of this, and then definitely I'd like to see the Chinese brought in. But at some point, yes, that has to happen.